応戦だナルト。
So every now and again I come across power scaling videos or power ranking videos based on Naruto characters, and almost every single time that I've watched these videos there's been some discrepancies with them. And now that I got a channel, I just want to shed some light on the real rankings and the real power scaling. Now, I got the inspiration for this video by coming across one of IBIJ's Anime's videos, specifically the Naruto vs. Boruto Genin rankings. And pretty much the entire list was wrong. There were some things here and there that were okay, but overall I don't want to hate too much because it is 4 years ago. However, when I looked at all the feats that they had from 4 years ago compared to Naruto versus Boruto in their Genin forms, even if you made the list then, they would still be wrong. Now I know, who am I to come out against somebody with over 100,000 subscribers with my very small subscriber count, but it's not about subscribers, it's about the truth. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you all of his ranking in order of in which he made them, and I'm going to go ahead and correct all of them. And so he starts off the speed category with Sasuke as the number 1 ranking, completely disregarding the fact that Mitsuki has Sage Mode. That in and of itself makes him have the highest speed, not only top speed, but also battle speed. Now, in terms of top speed, Sasuke most likely is the next highest on the list. However, I would say that Naruto is above him in speed just because he has strong combat speed. And if you don't believe me, check out Naruto beating the shit out of Sasuke in their battle at the Valley of the End in part 1, where Naruto's just blitzing Sasuke for the back end of the fight until he puts on his stage 2 curse mark, in which he doesn't even attempt to fight Naruto. He just goes for one killing blow immediately, possibly because he wasn't confident that he could match up with Naruto. But of course all of this is hypothetical. What we have seen is Naruto being faster than Sasuke, so he is immediately above Sasuke in the rankings in my opinion. And let's go ahead and get into this Boruto being number 2 in terms of speed. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, are you really trying to compare one of his shadow clones giving him a boost of speed with Wind Style to Cloak 1 Naruto in Stage 2 Sasuke? He's nowhere near their speed. And the last 2 placings are pretty much correct. So now I'm going to show you the correct list. It's going to be Mitsuki number 1, Naruto number 2, Sasuke 3, Boruto after, following up with Sarada and Sakura. So nothing too crazy there. Moving on to the chakra panel, this is the only one that he gets correct. Originally when I saw it, I thought that Sasuke was going to be higher than Boruto, just considering that we've seen him use a lot more versatile jutsu and a lot more drawn out fights. However, I agree with his placement just because the fact that he has Uzumaki blood in him, along with another, substantially strong clan inside of his blood, and he's strong enough to release water jutsu without any water nearby, and so I figured, yeah, Boruto has more chakra, and then boom, it hit me. Sasuke has the curse mark. He has the stage 1 curse mark. He has the stage 2 curse mark. He could draw out his chakra pool for so long that he ultimately ends up having a larger chakra pool than Boruto, on top of getting a power increase. Therefore, Sasuke is above Boruto in this ranking, and I no longer agree with him. Here's the correct list. Going on to battle IQ, and this list really represents the intelligence of the person who made it. Sarada being number 1 is the dumbest thing I have ever seen. Let me go ahead and list off all of the feats she has up until this point in the series, which is around chapter 18-19. She saves Boruto from hitting the ink at the start of the Chunin exams, which wouldn't have been possible if Mitsuki wasn't there. She used her Sharingan to remove a genjutsu off of the flags, which is not necessarily a great feat of her intelligence because she used a Kekkei Genkai. I don't want to hold it back from her too much, but I'm just saying that we don't know whether or not she would have been able to do that without the Sharingan. And that's about all of the feats she has in terms of battle intelligence. So yeah, there's very clearly a discrepancy between her and everybody else on this list. That's enough to get her above Sakura, and that's about it. And the number 2 placing has just as little feats, one of them being the same, which is saving Boruto and Sarada from the ink. The other one being that when he was brought with the ultimatum of fighting Log or fighting Orochimaru, he decided he wasn't going to do either, and he was going to recoup and, figure out the situation on his own, considering that he didn't really understand the situation at all or what was going on, other than two people who he didn't know whether or not he could trust, and therefore I think that shows more intelligence than anything Sarada has done in the series. So he's going to take over Sarada's placing, going to be one step higher. However, just because he doesn't have any other feats, he can't be higher than anybody like Naruto, Sasuke, or Boruto. And I don't even want to comment on the Sasuke placing. That's just not intelligent of a placing. And I think even less so is the Naruto placing. How can you put Naruto in 6? Yes, he is an imbecile. However, all of the intelligence feats we have from him are in battle, so his battle IQ is very high. He formulated a plan with Sasuke very fast to save his sensei. He defeated Neji with a very simple jutsu. He had the intelligence to learn the Rasengan in 1 week. He also is the master of catching people off guard. He caught off Gaara, caught off Kabuto, and he matched up with Sasuke pretty well. And if I'm being honest with you, his fight against Sasuke alone is enough to put him higher than even Boruto on this list. So he's immediately in the top 2. And of course, the only reason Boruto is above everybody else in his generation is simply because he's pretty much the only one with feats at this point in the story. So the correct placings would of course be number 1 Sasuke. Dude hold his ground against Orochimaru. Every time he lost a fight, he overcame it. After he lost to Lee, he picked up on his techniques. He did this twice throughout the series to beat one of the fodder in the preliminaries and also to gain some speed against Gaara. He's also really crafty, one of the best ninja at using ninja tools, and he even overcame Naruto's one-tail form, which I think could have been a stalemate. I think that's what it was. However, Sasuke decided not to kill him and Naruto decided not to hit him and instead, hit his headband, symbolizing why Naruto was fighting him. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Sasuke's 1, Naruto's 2. After that, it's gotta be Boruto, then Mitsuki, Sarada, and Sakura. And yeah, that section took a little bit of time, but like I said, that's what I'm the most passionate about when it comes to his rankings. I think that those placings in and of themselves are enough to make a whole video on. Just going over feats, going over, the reason is because it was a very, very bad list. I don't want to hate on his list super hard, but like that panel, man, so bad. And then it transitions into attack. What does attack mean? What does that even mean? Are you talking about their offensive prowess? Are you talking about their power? What does that even mean? So I went ahead and broke it up into power and offensive prowess categories. But let's just go ahead and look what he places onto attack, which I don't really know how to talk about the list because I'm not really sure what the list is about. But regardless, he put Mitsuki 1, Boruto 2, followed up with Naruto, Sasuke, Sarada, and Sakura. And this number 1 placing with Mitsuki is actually pretty correct. Sage mode immediately trumps everybody on this list, regardless of what type of attack you're talking about. But then he blunders with Boruto being number 2. I mean, Boruto has some pretty good quote-unquote attack. He's constantly seen utilizing big water techniques mixed in with lightning, and of course he has pretty good sensory capabilities on top of having the Rasengan, so he is pretty strong. However, you gotta compare this to one-tailed cloak Naruto and stage 2 form Sasuke, which is just not even comparable. They're very clearly above Boruto. I don't know why he would put Boruto above these guys. If they were in their base forms, Naruto still has hundreds if not thousands of shadow clones, and Sasuke is just craftier, smarter, and has more strong attacks and direct attacks than Boruto. Just considering that his Rasengan isn't nearly as strong as Naruto's Rasengan, that means that Sasuke's Chidori immediately wins out, considering how close the two jutsu already are in terms of raw strength. So correcting out this list, I broke it down into 2 different categories. Of course, like I said, power is going to be our first one. Of course, Mitsuki's number 1. Naruto is after, and then it's Sasuke, Sarada, Boruto, and Sakura. Sarada specifically above Boruto because while he does have very long range and powerful attacks, we've seen Sarada just completely destroy her opponents. We've seen her do this, and we've seen her do this. Some pretty powerful moves. I don't think Boruto has anything that can match that level of destruction, and that's our power limit. Moving on to the offensive prowess category, this is basically just taking all that power and that potential and utilizing it. We've seen Naruto at his max potential as a Genin do significantly better than Sasuke, so he immediately is number 1 on our placings, and Sasuke of course is the follow-up, because we've of course seen him in his most powerful form, so we know what he could do with it. Whereas followed up the list with Boruto, even though Mitsuki's a lot more powerful than him, just because we've seen Boruto utilize some offensive capabilities, we haven't seen Mitsuki do anything that wasn't in base form in terms of actually being in battle and utilizing what he has. And I went ahead and put Sarada above him for the exact same reason. In terms of their base forms at this point in the series, around chapter 18, Mitsuki really hasn't done anything in terms of battle, whereas we've seen Sarada at least in a few panels throughout the Chunin exams, and she of course put in some work defeating pretty much every obstacle that was in her way. So just simply based on that fact, she is above him on this list. Mitsuki is going to be number 5, with Sakura following the last spot. And now moving on to the defense, this is one of the other rankings that just simply are quite dumb. If I'm being honest with you, look at this placing. Naruto is number 5. He literally took a Raikiri through the chest and it didn't even phase him. How could he be number 5 on defense when he literally has regenerative capabilities stronger than everybody on this list? Even if he was fighting Mitsuki in his Sage mode, Mitsuki doesn't have a regenerative capability that we know of. Therefore, Naruto immediately has the edge. I feel like he really just wanted to boost up the Boruto generation with these placings, putting the top 4 with 3 of the new generation, even though they should all be in the back, excluding Mitsuki, of course. And Sarada really doesn't have any form of defense. At this point in the series, all we've seen her do is be saved by Boruto and by Naruto. And even if you want to go on what I'm about to talk about, which is spoilers based on what we have now, then she isn't even up there at all. She's still number 5. Naruto number 1, Sasuke number 2, 3 Mitsuki, followed up by Boruto, Sarada, and Sakura. That is the correct defensive ranking. Now, in terms of the ninjutsu category, I don't really want to go into this, just considering that don't really get a wide variety of jutsu from any of these characters other than Boruto and Sasuke, so there just isn't enough substance for me to really talk about this category. However, getting into his ranking, Sarada very clearly has more ninjutsu as Naruto, but because it isn't very clearly defined whether or not we're going off of versatility in ninjutsu or the capability of releasing strong ninjutsu, there just is too much in this category where I just don't feel comfortable discussing it. So we're just going to go ahead and move on to the next pool, which is immediately followed up by another category in which we don't really have anything to go off of. We really've only seen 2 characters on this list really interact with genjutsu. Of course, that was Sarada and Sakura. Sakura, of course, released the genjutsu during the Konoha Crush arc, and Sarada using her Sharingan against the flags in the Chunin exams. Both of these are very unsubstantial, not enough to really base a list off of, but finally he does have a correct placement for Naruto being last in the genjutsu category, so I don't want to hate on this list too much. And the final category is another one where we don't really have many feats, taijutsu. We've seen a little bit from Sarada, we've seen some from Boruto, of course Naruto and Sasuke, but that's about it in terms of taijutsu. Really, if you do want to put these rankings, it would really just be Naruto and Sasuke, because they're the only ones with more than like 1 or 2 instances of using taijutsu, and if you do want to rank them, it would be Naruto 1 and Sasuke 2. While Naruto isn't as great in taijutsu in his base form, his one-tail form has shown to have better taijutsu than Sasuke. Like I said earlier, Sasuke didn't want to test taijutsu against Boruto when he went into his max power, so this category is also kind of null. And so yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about his rankings. Of course, this was from 4 years ago, so all of my rankings are based off of the feats we have from 4 years ago, but I'm gonna go ahead and do a little speed round for y'all, a little updated list based in 2021. So I'll just go ahead and let this play out for y'all.
Yo. Pussy, marijuana, wanna. Pussy, marijuana. Pussy, marijuana, wanna. Pussy, marijuana. Pussy, every day, and I'm gonna eat that pussy, period, comma, pause. But hold the applause, I want to mold and fold the laws. I'll be bold, unroll the goals. I want to touch your pee-pee hole. Blunt in the other hand, watch me roll. Don't gotta watch, but watch my flow. Don't gotta clock, but clock them hoes. Don't ever sleep, can't watch me doze. Now I'm back now, rolling in the lag now. Gonna put a smack down to this fucking whack town. P-U-double-S-Y till I die. I might be fat, but my bitches stay fly. Maybe it's because I'm so high in the sky. Don't got a job, so la la la. La la la. I might fuck your mother one day. La la la. La la la.
That's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold sets it.